I was in a tournament and
Yeah.
we were competing against these other guys, and he gave me a speed up, and my paddle wasn't where it needed to be, and it just popped me in the chest.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Whoa!" And I like kind of like went backwards and pretended to fall over. And they were like,
Uh,
"Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry."
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Pickle Me This. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and like so you'll be notified when new episodes drop every Saturday morning. You definitely don't want to miss them. Also, your support helps other pickleball enthusiasts find us too. Everyone has a story. Welcome to Pickle Me This, and I'm your host, Deirdre. And today I'm sitting down with Reece, a physical therapist who almost walked away from his career entirely until pickleball changed everything. He found the game later than most, and what started as a new way to move and connect quickly turned into something much bigger. He saw a pattern he couldn't ignore, players he loved dealing with pain, frustration, and the fear that they'd have to give up the game they'd fallen for too. So he built his entire practice around keeping pickleball players on the court. So today we're here to get to know Reese, the player, the person, and hear the story of how a little paddle sport completely redirected his life. So welcome, Reese.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Of course. Excited to have you. I've been watching you online, so it's always fun to get to meet people personally, even if it's just over like the internet, like here, but feels this similar, you know? So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's really cool. All right, so I like to kick things off all the time on what was going on in your life before pickleball. Like, what did you do on an average day?
That's a good question. Before I met pickleball, what was I doing? I was working full time as a physical therapist. Me and my now wife were dating, probably engaged at that point in time, pretty into exercising, lifting weights, going fishing, hiking, camping, traveling,
Oh, nice.
pretty big into backpacking when possible. And we've caught in the travel bug and like to go international when possible. And so those are some of the things that I really enjoy doing before pickleball and still enjoy doing.
Sounds like
But
a full life. That sounds fun.
yeah, I do try to live pretty fully. I will say that. I've
That's good.
learned through my practice, like as a physical therapist, that well, I've learned a lot of lessons from other people of maybe how to live my life and how to try to maximize it and take the most out of it that I can. And so we really try to focus on like filling our cup up with either like things that are really important and meaningful to us or hitting like bucket list items.
I love that. I wish a lot of people felt that way. A lot of people do feel that way, but I wish more like thought about life like that, right? There's so many great things to experience. So have at it. And I know life is busy, but I feel like everybody can make some time to have some fun for sure.
Yeah. And part of it, um, I've had to get comfortable saying no to a lot of other fun things, unfortunately. But the other stuff really fills me up, and I feel so exhilarated and fulfilled, especially when I'm getting to travel and spend time with my wife.
Yeah. That's a good point though. Some other things have to fall by the wayside, but it's all priorities, right?
Yeah,
And everybody
exactly.
has different things that fill their cup. You just have to find what fills yours. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So, when did you first discover pickleball? And what was your
That's,
very first impression of it?
I think I met pickleball sneaking up on 2.5 years ago when I was actually working at the former place I was working at as a physical therapist, and the owner's dad was inside the office. It's probably mid morning, and he was in like workout attire, shorts, t-shirt, and I said, "Hey, Rick, what the heck are you doing? Where are you going? It looks like you're about to go run a marathon." He said, "No, I'm not going to go run a marathon. I'm going to play pickleball." I said, "Pickleball?" He's like, "Yeah, you want to come on this Sunday, 7 a.m.?" I was like, I was like, "What?" I said, "What? Sunday at 7 a.m.? Who does that?" I'm
Right?
like, well, sure, whatever. I'll show up and give this thing a try. I hear it's fun. It's pretty the rage. And so at that point, I went to your local YMCA at 7 a.m. with like a beginner group and got to know how to play it, introduction on the rules and different swings, how to serve, and basically just like what most people I talk with, they share the same story that they caught the bug, they got hooked. I was
Mhm.
hooked.
Mhm.
I um, loved the kind of like bantering that can go back and
Yeah.
forth, like giving each other a hard time, like but also like celebrating some of the nice shots. And so ultimately my first impression was like, wow, I love this. These people are really fun to play with and I love
Oh,
this
nice.
exercise and social aspect of things.
I love that. So when people get the bug instantly, and some people it takes a little bit. Do you get it instantly then?
I'm gonna say with within the first two times I played,
Okay.
could have been the first,
Mhm.
definitely the second.
Yep. Yep. So, you said like the banter. I really love the banter too, and it's like one of those sports too that you could just chit chat with people, which and get to know people, you know, pretty well, versus just playing the sport and being competitive from day one. It's like no other game, right? So
Yeah,
I get that. I get that aspect.
yeah,
So you mentioned you didn't come from a racket sport background though. So what did those early days of learning look like for you?
yeah. If we're to like kind of blend like the continuation of the first couple times I played, I remember like getting out there playing against these like 60, 70-year olds and I was like, oh, I'm gonna crush these people.
Right? You just size them up and you're like, "I got this."
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna dominate. And yeah,
Uh,
little did I know I was running all over the court, um, sweating my tail off, um, chasing the shots, missing them. Um,
mhm,
and so from like in early days, yeah, I was definitely all over the court, whiffing the ball, missing shots, hitting it too hard, not knowing the different shots that you could execute in the game. And so learning early on ultimately was through playing, getting
mhm,
to have more exposure through it, realizing that, you know, early on you get those beginner gains fast and rapidly, um, but needed to try to implement some form of drilling and lessons to continue to ramp up my skill set, so that I could continue to be better and wanted to be better, um, so that I could grow as a clinician and as a player. So
yeah,
ultimately, yeah, looking like a fool, getting beaten up, running around the court. Um,
like all I say like all of us, right? Yeah.
yeah,
In
um,
the beginning, for sure.
yeah.
Um, how would you describe your playing style today now? Like, after you were drilling, for all that time and all that good stuff?
I think I'm gonna say that my playing style is continuing to evolve as I've grown as a clinician. I'm continuing to realize I need to continue to get better. Some of my powerful shots that I really try to execute well on and emphasize are going to be my serves. Got a heavy power and topspin serve, and then my drives follow the same thing. And so when I can, I try to drive um, to get up to the net. But then once I'm at the net, I tend to play a little bit of a softer game,
Yeah.
do
So
do
that's
more
interesting. So
reset.
you drive to get up to the net. The drive is like a fast shot though. Does it give you enough time to get up to the net?
If
Do you
I
drive to push it back?
mm, sometimes it'll be like drive for them to block so that there's a low shot that I can run up, hit a drop
Okay.
shot, or have my partner pick up the shot, and
Yeah.
then I'm able to get up to the kitchen,
Yeah.
um, and then we're going at it from there.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And in
Uh,
terms of like time, I will sometimes do a softer drive, just like maybe like instead of like an 80% power, we'll do like a 50 or 60, and it's a little bit lofty and it has really heavy topspin and it will go just over the net and
mm,
dip.
yeah. And then they're like, can't get it. Yeah.
So that helps me get up there sometimes.
I remember what I was gonna ask earlier. So drilling, you mentioned drilling. A lot of people when they start playing recreationally, it's so much fun to play the game that a lot of people don't wanna find time to drill to get better. They figure they'll just get better in playing. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, early on, you get better right away. If it's a new sport, a new activity, you're pretty
Mhm.
much going to get better no matter what, as long as you're consistently playing. But over time, like what happened to me is I just started to stall out with my improvements. My gains stopped, and I wanted to keep getting better. So that was when I wanted to start drilling, taking more lessons and practicing. But I mean, in general,
Yeah.
from like the principles of like, if I'm to take it back to my background, to motor learning, I think it's good to probably get some form of lesson and instruction early on, and then from there be able to practice or play as much as possible. Try to swing, hit, make those errors, learn what works, what doesn't work, and then
Mhm.
as things start to tail off a little bit, continuing to like do the lessons, do more drilling, and I think you'll continue to go up and improve.
Yeah, that all makes sense, right? Because motor memory is such a huge thing. And if you start playing and you have these bad habits to start off with, like they start cementing right away. And they're harder to correct. But I mentioned the drilling because I know even myself, I really need to make more time for drilling. I'll do it sometimes, but I really need to make more time for drilling. And then I wonder why when I'm on the courts, like why my drop shots aren't more consistent. Stuff like
Definitely. Yes, I think
that.
it's like the one of the fallacies of a lot of pickleball players is they don't drill enough.
Hmm.
It's too fun to play.
So fun to play. Yes. Yes. All right, so let's talk about the turning point for you, in your career. So take us back to that period where you were, like, thinking about leaving physical therapy altogether. What was going on at that time?
Yeah. So if I like took this back, maybe I mean I'm gonna go back to like 2014. I was interning as a strength and conditioning coach. That's what I
Oh.
wanted to do.
Mhm,
I was at the University of Minnesota working with the athletes, and as I was going through that, realized it wasn't a good fit for me, and I wanted to educate, make more of a meaningful impact in people's lives,
mhm,
and um, use evidence-based like treatments to improve people's quality of lives. And then at the time, job security was pretty important for me. And so then I said I should go be a physical therapist. Went back to physical therapy school, worked really hard to get through it, and I graduated. And early on, I had a lot of success, um, moving up into like a management position. Um, Thought that was what everybody wanted. Thought it was going to be super fun. And while going through some of these steps, um, I wasn't having that much fun as like a manager or team lead. I was always getting new things put on my plate, new problems.
mm.
And as I was practicing as a clinician, um, I was having at the same time these like really high productivity standards that I was supposed to be upholding. I wasn't able to spend time with people, and I was left having these really uncomfortable conversations with people where I often had to tell them that I was no longer able to help them because it wasn't going to be considered a skilled and necessary service, um, or covered by insurance.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah. And so there was a bunch of people that I had to have that conversation with who had like a rehab or a therapy need, but they almost had like plateaued, and it was just going to take more time and it wasn't happening fast enough. And while some of these like frustrations were building up, I was considering other jobs, um, trying like per diem or casual work in other places. But as I was doing that, my coworkers in both jobs that I was working were complaining about almost the same thing, but different stuff. Classmates had been through multiple jobs while I was still on my first. And I was like, wow, I guess this is it. Like, this is what I worked so hard to do to be controlled by um, these other parties. meeting the insurance companies and um, these productivity standards. And I was like, this is not what I wanted to do. And so as I was working my job, I was looking for other opportunities and was, like I said, looking for a way out. And I was not sure what I was going to do, but I was thinking about looking at sales or real estate, but they just ultimately weren't my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is in helping people, human movement, exercise. That's what I know. And
Hmm.
then just all of a sudden, pickleball fell on my lap. I said, "This is it."
Did you think about it as soon as you started playing? Like you like, "Oh, I should do this," or did it come about in a different way, like, when it wasn't expected? So what I mean by that is, were you playing and you were enjoying it yourself, and then all of a sudden people started complaining about, like, some injury and you could, like, give them advice? Like, how did it come about?
Pretty much it came about within that first time or two of playing. I was having so much fun. I was loving the exercise, the bantering and giving each other a
Mhm,
hard time. I've like tended to have really good relationships and success working with people who are 50 and older.
mhm.
And when I was there playing, that's everybody that was there. And then after we were playing, like just uh, on the benches or the sidelines, whatever, um, people were going, "Oh yeah, like oh, my forearm. Oh yeah, my shoulder. Like
Mhm.
oh yeah, my knee." I'm like, "Whoa, like I can help you. Like
Yeah,
this is my background. Like
you're
just
talking
so
to
you
the
know,
right person.
it doesn't have to be like this."
Right.
And that was within those one or two times. Like I didn't have a pickleball background. I didn't have a racket sport experience, but I knew that if I practiced and I played and I dedicated, I could learn it.
Mhm.
Um, and I was like, this is it. I'm going in for, I'm going all in. This is it.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and
Uh,
so that was when I said, I'm changing and this is what I'm doing.
I know on the courts too. I feel like the pickleball courts are one of the places I've seen the most braces, the most knee braces, the most elbow brace. Like people have all kinds of contraptions on all the time, and honestly, it's not just the 50 plus. It is a lot of the 20-year-olds too are getting like injured left and right. So I think you found a good place to be for sure.
Yeah, I definitely have some thoughts on that, but I'm happy to share when the time is right.
Oh, go ahead, share. I'm, like,
I,
big into, I besides pickleball, I also do CrossFit, so I'm, like, very hard on my body, you know,
yeah,
and hiking and stuff, and so I'm very big into, PT and dry needling and cupping and
yeah,
myofascial release because I feel like everybody needs it. I can't imagine if I didn't do it, so and I look at people with braces and I feel like sometimes they're just prolonging something to fix, right? Like, they're just prolonging the fix. They're just covering up the symptom instead of the cause.
yep. So to the rec player that's sitting on the sideline or the person that is wearing the brace, do they help? The braces, that is. They can. Are they the long term answer? No.
Mhm.
Too many people tell me that they're old, they just need a rest. And I'm here to tell you that you are not broken and that you are not too old, that your tissues or your body is too underprepared for the sport and the demands of the game.
Mm. Mhm.
Pickleball is a very repetitive sport. I would argue that many people live a sedentary or inactive lifestyle and
Mhm.
then they find pickleball and they start playing. There's a large ramp up in what they're doing. They exceed their tissue capacity, and that is when these injuries happen. And so, if you do the right exercises at the right time and follow a progressive load, many of these aches and pains that people are dealing with that they have to rest or limit how much they're playing can go away.
Mhm.
And for the braces, the knee braces, and the support, you can provide more stability to your knee. You can changing your paddle isn't going to fix your pickle elbow long term. And just know it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, I agree. It's more a proactive look at things versus a reactive, right? Like figure out how to build up the support naturally versus a brace. Tell us about the first player you actually helped. What did that feel like? Like what was the injury? Like how did it come about and what did it feel like for you afterwards?
I think the first one that really sticks out to me was shout out to Candy. Candy's one of my favorites. Candy's 72. She plays pickleball, of course. That's all I help right now is pickleball players. But she came to me and she was having really bad shoulder pain and she was unable to lift her arm up to her side. It was about right here, 90 degrees, maybe 80 degrees at most, really painful, grimacing. She had a history of previous rotator cuff repairs on both arms. And she said, Reece, I think I tore my rotator cuff. I'm really scared. And we did an assessment, and I felt really confident that she did not tear her rotator cuff. And ultimately, we worked together for 12 weeks. We started out with some simple movements, got her pain under control while also working on other areas of her body and got her out of pain, got her shoulder moving better, and then we got it stronger, all while addressing um, other pieces of her body that needed to be addressed from a strength and stability standpoint. We were
Hmm.
working on agility, um, getting low. She had 2 knee replacements, and she was finally able to get low down for the balls that she needed to get to. She was able to squat. She was jumping again, and she said that she felt like a kid again
Oh, I love
because,
this.
yes, she was able to jump again. And at the end of the day, she improved her shoulder motion, was full strength, and it was no longer an issue. And so she had successful outcomes. And what she said to me is that I would have never believed that exercise can help improve my shoulder pain that I'm having. And I am a firm believer in whatever you say and do. And I'm here to advocate and will gladly tell people how awesome you
Oh,
are.
that's great. That's great. Such a nice story, right? Yeah, and like you're beaming as you tell the story, right? Because it does feel good to help other people. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Candy holds a good place in my heart.
Aw. I bet you she told a lot of people. She's probably like, "Go see Reese, go see Reese. He's a miracle worker." What
Pickleball
would
community is pretty talkative.
it is, right? Hey, I don't know about you, but just like everything in life, I want some kind of recommendation or a referral. Like no matter
Yeah.
what it is. I'm like, "Hey, it's like such like what do you recommend?" You know? Because versus me going out on my own, I don't know, I like hearing things from other people first.
Yeah.
Um What would you say to a rec player who's been sitting on the sidelines because of pain or injury? I mean, we started touching on it, but like what would you tell them?
I think I mentioned a little bit of it, and I think I'll repeat it. But just know that for someone who's sitting on the sidelines dealing with aches, pains, or injuries, it doesn't have to be that way. I would recommend working with somebody who understands human movement and can show you how to build a progressive exercise program to address um, what needs to be worked on.
Mhm.
And that rest is not the answer. The answer is the right movements at the right times, doing exercises and movements that are built around the game and the sport that you play. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in active recovery too. It's kind of disheartening insurance. I could go on and on about the insurance. I don't like insurance the way it is because it does limit people, and people then sometimes just put stuff off. But they're like, because oh, insurance won't cover it, so I'm not going to go see a PT.
Yep. Yep.
Or, like, go seek out help for whatever, but I don't know, you might as well pay I mean, to live with pain or, like, just pay out of pocket, I don't know, I I just pay out of pocket. But I know some people can't, but it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. It's definitely hard. It's unfortunate that insurance companies are in the business for making money,
Yes.
not necessarily keeping people healthy. And the problem that I see in the current like system is that like people get like just recovered or just rehabbed enough or are just healthy enough in
Hmm.
quotations to be able to do the things, but they aren't necessarily fully cured or fully fixed, and
Right.
that there's way more that can go into their health and fitness than what is currently being managed and provided to people, and it's a pretty big disservice.
Right. I know they do like you chase the quick fix, right? The symptom, and then the symptom goes away, but you haven't really fixed the underlying issue. You haven't
Yeah,
spent the extra time fixing the underlying issue. You really need to do both.
exactly. And
Mhm.
this is why I wanted to do what I'm doing, because I get to spend a ton of time with my people and
Mhm.
they have a ton of access to me to communicate and go back and forth, coach them through, guide them through things, where you won't necessarily get that in the traditional
Yeah.
sense.
I also like that you're on Instagram, and social media in general, right? Giving people advice also. General advice, because sometimes people can't afford to go somewhere else, right? So you're like just giving it away for free. Do you find people taking advantage of that aspect?
I think they could take more advantage of it and they could follow me.
There you go. Yeah. And also
But
sometimes too, people don't know, like sometimes people don't know that you exist, right? That's the first thing. Like who
yeah,
exists out there that's good? Who gives good advice? Because sometimes there's so many people giving some advice, and some of the advice, some of the advice out there is but
yeah. Well, I know just know that I take feedback from my followers and I try to listen to them. Ultimately, like what is leading to my success is me just listening to the pickleball community and getting to understand their problems. I've dealt with the same problems, and
yes.
so I get to understand what it's like, what it feels like. I know how to manage them, and so where I was going with this is if I listen to the people who follow me and engage with me, and I use it as feedback on like, okay, well, maybe I should be providing more educational content, or instead of talking about the aches, pain, and stiffness that is so common with pickleball, maybe I should talk about soft tissue injuries. And so I kind of use that as a gauge on like maybe which direction I should take some of my content, what I should be
Mhm.
talking about, and what I do talk about is evidence based medicine and something I've spent a lot of money as a with a doctorate level education
Yes.
learning about.
Yeah.
So
Lots of experience. Absolutely. Yes. When we post this podcast and when people see it, we'll have links to your accounts too, so people can start following you. I enjoy your
for sure,
content. Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Okay, so what about like life on the courts? How has pickleball expanded your social world? Tell us about some of the people that have come into your life like through the game, like who you can't imagine life without now.
It's a good question. My phone contacts have gone significantly up with,
Right?
with the amount of pickleball friends I have. There's when you ask me this question, um, where my mind goes is number one, I've got a handful of guys that um, were about the same age and in the same like circumstances family wise. And what I mean by that is like I have a 16-month-old baby boy and
Mm,
they have kids. And so it's been hard for me to find a consistent partner. And so I've got a group of different guys that I'll message and ask for who want to compete in tournaments or do rated events with me. Um, and so that's been fun having guys who want to be competitive around my age, going through the same things, like trying to be a family person and
yeah,
still
same
have fun
life
at the same
phase.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
then I've also met a couple of mentors, um, two specifically, who have opened my eyes to some different ways I could take things within my business and the way to continue to grow and serve other people. And so I've met some really good friends that are around the same age, going through the same things. And then I've met some mentors who have unexpectedly came into my lives and have continued to help grow me as an individual, and as a business owner.
That's great. Yeah. Pickleball has a wide variety of people who play from all these different backgrounds. And so it's really nice to meet all of them and then get all that experience from life advice from those folks. It's really invaluable. Like people you would probably never would walk into the street otherwise, never had a chance to meet otherwise. That's what I love about this sport. It really does bring so many different people together.
It's very eclectic, very
Yeah.
wide variety of different people.
Very wide variety of different people. Let's talk about funny and embarrassing moments on the court.
Hmm.
I feel like we all have them. What's the
Sure.
most memorable moment on the court for you so far? Like what's the game you remember the most?
The most embarrassing one. I mean, two
Yeah.
instances like just come to my mind. The one that actually I wasn't originally thinking about, that popped into my mind as you asked me this question. I think it's pretty funny. Is I was in a tournament and this guy basically body bagged me, and
Ugh.
I flopped, and I like hit me in the chest, and I like flopped back and pretended like to me it was pretty dramatic.
Wait, so did you fall back to be dramatic because it was in a tournament, or you just fell back because you were like startled?
No, I was like, we were kind of how I was talking about the bantering with other people and
Oh,
giving each
I
other a
see.
hard time.
Yeah.
We were competing against these other guys, and he gave me a speed up, and my paddle wasn't where it needed to be, and it just popped me in the chest.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Whoa!" And I like kind of like went backwards and pretended to fall over. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so
Are
sorry."
you?
And
Yeah, right. Are
I'm
you
like, no,
okay?
no, I'm just kidding. I did that on purpose. Like, you're fine. Um, but that was actually probably one of my funny moments. I've only done that once, so that's
That's
not
funny though,
a
especially if you know the people playing against you. Like it's kind of funny.
otherwise. I mean, I would say maybe an embarrassing moment was when like someone it was a serve. He served it and it hit the middle line, and I called it out, and I thought I forgot the rules, and I thought it was out, and he wasn't too happy with me.
That line call in the middle, there's a lot of controversy. A lot of people don't understand that rule. There's a lot of controversy on that rule when serving. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was one of my not proud calls that I made.
um, any pet peeves on the court?
Mm, I think I'm gonna take this from like my professional lens, and that one of the biggest problems that I see people, the biggest mistakes I see people make that does bother me is that people don't take the time to prepare their body for the sport that they play. I
Yeah.
think everybody should be um, taking 5 to 10 minutes to move their body before they start dinking and taking shots. And so the peeve that it is that like the social pressure that there is when you like show up to an open play and there's someone waiting for like a partner or a fourth person,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Come on, get out here." And I'm like, "Can I please just have like 5 to 10 minutes?" And they kind of are like checking on you, looking over their shoulder, like, "When are you gonna hurry up?" I'm like, "Can I please just have like a little bit of time for myself?" And I
Yeah.
promise that, like for other people, if they take the time for themselves, they're gonna feel better, move better, become more resistant to injuries, and they won't be as achy and stiff the next day if they
Hmm.
just take that time for themselves than trying to rush out onto the court and play because there's an open spot available.
Yeah. I would say 98% of the people in our open play courts, and our open play courts are busy all the time. Do not. They come in, put their paddle up, and then jump in. Maybe dink back and forth a little bit, and then they're
Four
off to the races.
4 times, and they say, yeah, I'm good. I'm good."
Exactly.
You good?
Ex-
I'm good.
exactly. So what should they do for warm up? Do you have like a video on that?
I do have one that I share with people, if anybody wants to have that, they can directly message me on Instagram and message me warm up, and I can send them that. But what I would say is what you should be doing is what's called a dynamic warm up, where you are moving your body through space, trying to mimic and replicate movements of pickleball or the sport you are playing. You are going into a movement and coming out, not doing the static stretches where you assume a position and hold it
Yeah.
for 30 seconds. Um, by going into the movement and coming out, you will promote blood flow, increase tissue elasticity, allow your tendons to be more elastic, prepare your heart, your cardiovascular system. You'll be more reactive. So you'll have a heightened neuromuscular system. And so just going through what I like do is like hamstring scoops, high knees,
Mhm.
like a quad stretch, something for my hips, like a figure four. I'll do some squats, lunges, lateral shuffling, and then some Ys, Ws, and Ts for my shoulders, as well as arm circles. And if anything feels more achy or stiff and needs a little bit more time, I will go through that and work through that until that stiffness decreases.
Nice. That's really good advice. Now, Reese, do you always do that when you go to play? Like every single time?
I can't say I'm perfect.
I was just curious.
I will come in. I'll succumb to the peer pressure and say, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Sometimes I'll
Yeah.
say 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I'm good.
Yeah. What about if you come from something else active? Like you were just out, I don't know. And I know it's not the same though, like hiking, walking, I don't know, from the gym. Does that advice change at all? Or you think it's the same regardless all the
Mm,
time?
I think it like shortens your
Hmm.
amount of time that you need to spend warming up. What I tell people is if um, you warmed up at home and you got in your car and you had to drive more than 15 minutes, that I would recommend doing more warming up or going through some of those movements. And if it's more than like a 15-minute car ride to get there, or when you got done with the gym, I feel like people stiffen up and um, lose some of that looseness that they had. And
Yeah.
so I would recommend spending a little bit of time. But if you just came from the gym, had a short car ride, you probably don't need to spend too much time. You're already loose and warmed up
Yeah.
and ready to go.
That makes sense, like sitting in the car for 15 minutes. Okay, so now that brings me to another question. So our courts that we play are pretty busy sometimes, and you might wait 15, 20 minutes between games and you're sitting there. Same thing? Like, what do you do then?
That's a good question. Someone asked me that about like what to do. This is what I do, and I primarily have been applying this when I have done a tournament. And instead of I try not to sit down because when I sit down, I stiffen up, my
I
legs will
try not
tighten
to
up,
too. Yeah.
and then I feel like I've got lead in my legs and I can't move. And so I usually try to stand up, walk around a little bit. If it is a tournament and I'm waiting for like a next matchup, me and my partner will go back and forth and just hit the ball lightly, nothing
Hmm.
crazy. Might do some wall ball. But if you are like feeling stiff and tightened up after resting from one match to the next, I'd recommend just like some leg swings and some squats, something to get moving again before getting back into it.
I love leg swings. They're
Yeah,
pretty cool. Yeah.
they feel
Arm
good.
swings too. It's just, I don't know. It's just like kind of just shaking it out, you know?
Exactly. Shaking
What
off the
is
cobwebs.
exactly right? You're just like, okay, wait a second. Yeah, just kind of started getting stiff. So let me just do that a little bit. All right, couple wrap up questions. What does pickleball mean to you at this point in your life?
Yeah. So pickleball for me means I think it's a blend between becoming a better player and a clinician and a coach. And so it's provided me an opportunity to deepen my clinical skills, to be able to improve how people move in their human experience, as well as deepen my skills as a player so that I can better understand the game, compete, and then blend my educational background with the competitive aspect of it as well.
Hmm.
And so in general, like I just feel like there's a bunch of opportunity for me for growth, learning, and a whole bunch of fun experiences that I'm working on behind the scenes.
Yeah. I think there's credibility there though, right? Because just today I went for a massage, more of like a sports massage with somebody. I want to try somebody new. And the reason I was drawn to her is because she has done CrossFit in her life too. Hasn't played pickleball, but so I chose her. I'm like, let me try her because I'm like having like on and off shoulder issues. So like all of us, right? I feel like all of us are dealing with something at our point in our life. And but I could just explain to her what movements I was doing and what hurt when, right? So it was like it was so easy to talk to somebody who does the same thing as you. It's
Hmm.
very easy to explain. And you know
Exactly.
exactly what muscles are involved in that and you know yourself and there's
Yes.
lots of credibility in that.
And the frustrations that go behind it, the pain,
Mhm.
the problems, what it's like to prepare for a tournament or lose or get better at the shot or navigate this injury or setback.
Yes. And a lot of
Yes.
times people don't realize it's usually not where you're feeling the pain, it's something else that's causing it. That's like the most fascinating thing to me about the body. Like it's never where the point of pain is, it's usually somewhere else that's causing
Yeah.
the issue. Okay, final question. If you could describe pickleball in one word, what would it be and why?
The word that's coming to me right now is opportunity. And what I mean by that is for me, myself, it's provided me an opportunity to change and revitalize my career. I see an abundance of things that I can do with this for myself and my career, but also for the people who play it. It's an opportunity to incorporate physical activity, increase and maintain their social circle with
Yes.
aging. Um, Racket sports are shown to increase human life expectancy. So there's an opportunity to live longer, stay active, and maintain that social connectedness.
Yeah, and be happy, right? Have a little fun out there. Have a little banter
Yeah.
yourself across the net.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thanks for joining us, Reese. It was fun. For everybody who wants to see where Reese is at and follow him, it'll be a link in the bio. So thanks
Thank you.
again.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next time when a new episode drops each Saturday. If you like this episode, be sure to leave us a like, and we'll see you out on the courts. Bye.